Welcome to ATI Pro Media. It's Thursday. I'm your host today, Brady Huck. Got Connor B in the wings here. Tommy Grisafi, he's camped out at RFD, getting ready to do cow guy close and tied up here today. So we'll got a good show for you here today. We're going to talk cattle on feed report, talk about those estimates here coming out this Friday. Talk a little bit about the dollar and the Fed. We got some weather stuff to talk about. We got a number of things. It's going to be a great show. Welcome. Thanks for joining us here today. Let's go on down to LaSalle Street and talk about the markets here. We got corn. We got mixed markets in the grains. Corn is 3 to 4 lower. Beans are up 2 cents. Wheats are down 7 cents. On the cattle side of things, we've got feeders up a buck, fat cattle up 30 to 40 cents, and lean hogs up 50 to 45 to 50 cents. In the macro markets, on over to Wall Street, we got a big move here on Wall Street. The Dow's up 491 points right now, S&P up 84, and the NASDAQ up 422. Bitcoin's up 3,000, gold's down 2. That's kind of, let's see what's going on in the energy. Crude's up 30 points here. So let's bring my co-host in here, Connor, and we'll dive into the headlines here. Connor, how's it going?
Not too bad. You've been busy. We missed having you on the show. Yeah, Tommy's doing his thing in Nashville, so it's a Brady and Connor show. We'll see how it goes.
Yep. Took a little road trip, did some cowboy stuff, working with some customers as well. But yeah, thanks for covering for me, and it's good to be back in though. I've missed it.
Good deal. Well, the main thing, let's get the big headline out of the way. We had a rate cut. Was it a quarter? Was it a half? They went with a half, a little bit bigger number than they thought. Not necessarily out of line of expectations, right? It was something like 61% of people expected a half rate cut. And so I guess we'll take it, right? In the ag space, we could see, interest rates have really hurt the past couple of years. We'll take a little bit lower if we keep going through this trend. The fear is, right, if they cut too far too fast and we ramp inflation back up, right? Inflation's not necessarily bad for the landowning, commodity producing American, right? Maybe not necessarily good for economy as a whole. But I guess that'd be the fear with the half point rate cut. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I'm excited to see interest rates come down a little bit. It's a small step. It's still interest rates is much different environment than we were 3-4 years ago. But yeah, half point cuts. It feels good. Kind of the spin room of did we conquer inflation, or are there subsurface deals of maybe worrying about the economy? Which direction do you want to spin it here? Did we conquer inflation, or is the economy kind of dicey? But regardless, the stock market likes it today. The price action yesterday was really interesting to see. The big range in trade on the macro markets and the stocks, and kind of indecisive there, right when everything came out. But yeah, stocks like it here today. The dollar, though, that's a headline here we can pop up. Dollar made 14-month lows after the Fed dropped rates a half a point yesterday. That's a big deal for grain guys, for farmers. Lower dollar makes our exports a little more attractive versus a really, really strong dollar. And then you compare that to Brazil and like the Brazilian real. And I'm going to flop up a graphic here I have. Look at the Brazilian real versus the U.S. dollar. And this is a weekly graphic that shows the real making a run, getting a little stronger versus the U.S. dollar. So that makes U.S. exports a little more competitive versus South American.
And I gotta say, when we're talking corn exports, good article from Reuters. I think we should talk about. We need all the help we can get on corn, soybean, any commodity. We need the help, but I definitely looking at that corn export number. So yeah, it definitely a muted reaction. We saw the initial was, I think the Dow was up, what, Brady, 300. We saw gold, silver on record high or session highs, and then it kind of tapered off, right? We did it, and now what's the Dow up? 500?
Yeah, 500. Yeah, big move.
Yeah. So we'll take it. Time will tell, right? We'll see if it was too much, right? Are they getting too aggressive? Here's a fun fact. I was on Chip Floor yesterday, so that the show was at 2:15. Rate decision came out at 1:30, and then we had Jay Powell talk. And he mentioned it's the first rate cut we've seen since 2020. So,
Hmm.
fun fact, it's the first rate cut that all three of my kids have ever seen. Right?
That's a wild stat to think about that. That's interesting, Connor. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
How was it on Chip yesterday? Did you enjoy it on AgriTalk?
it was. I had a great time. Those guys are. It's just a conversation. They're
Yeah.
laid back. He brings his marketing point, what he wants to talk about. Asks me some questions. It's just a conversation. Great show. I'd recommend anyone listen to AgriTalk.
Yeah, they cover a lot of great things, and another good show to listen to. Good stuff. You did a good job yesterday, Connor.
Thanks. So, with that, where are we going next? You want to talk a little weather?
Yeah, let's pull up that. Yeah, what do we want to go first?
Let's talk drought. I know you got some extended forecast stuff. Let's look at the drought monitor first. So,
Okay.
same story, right? The story really is in the soybean area, right? How much of that has really ramped up in terms of drought? And so, looking at that week on, we see corn up 8% of areas experiencing drought. Soybeans up 7%. 33% of soybean acres are experiencing drought. It still poses the same question we've been asking for the past couple weeks. Was the weather in August indicative of a record soybean yield? And so I got to tell you, yields I'm hearing in Central Illinois are still, maybe a little bit variable, but they're still pretty dang good. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I do have this one to pop up. And so it's just soybean production areas experiencing drought. Looking at past years, you see that little purple line there is just how we're really ramping up areas experiencing drought. And so I don't know if you could infer any seasonality when you look at that, but interesting to see, and really just how dry we've been the past kind of 30,
Yeah.
40 days.
Yeah. Well, if there's a time to be dry, it's September, October, August, September. Maybe not August
Right.
is a little less ideal, but September, October, when we get the combines rolling, it's nice to be able to get in there and get the stuff out. Maybe not ideal for the top end, but if there's a time to be dry, it's probably then versus June, July, and August. So
Yeah.
that's
I
my
really
thought.
want sometimes, I'm going to put my elevator hat on here. Sometimes when you get that no rain, it's a perfect harvest
Mhm.
where we have no stoppages, right? But right now, I think guys, majority are cutting beans first. If we have really good bean cutting weather where they can stay on soybeans, then the issue is if everyone switches to corn with some big yields incoming, we could talk a lot of bushels moving at one time, Brady. It'd be interesting to see in the next, I'm probably maybe three weeks out from maybe that situation coming to fruition, but it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, yeah. You made some of those comments yesterday on that AgriTalk and the potential basis pressure, and being ahead of that here. This as we get in rolling with harvest. If you got to make marketing decisions here this fall, you got to move bushels or sell them. It's good comments to make. The other thing on that headline, that the percentage drought, winter wheat 58%. That's significant out there, but
Yeah.
no plant in the dust. Maybe the bins will bust. Maybe that's the route we go here with that headline. 58% of winter wheat in drought area. But
Yeah.
Connor, if you're in the right spot, maybe you caught some fortunate rains here over the last couple of days. We had a number of systems pass through Kansas that brought some beneficial rains. Not a whole lot of wheat in the ground yet, but it's good for setting up maybe a better planting situation to get the wheat in.
Right. Well, time will tell. I think
Yep.
on weather, you wanted to look a little bit
Yeah.
extended forecast.
Yeah, let's throw that up here. I'll bore you a little bit with. We get the long range extended forecast every month. They came out here actually this morning. Neutral to El Nino conditions are still present. They're calling for La Nina here this winter, but a weaker type of La Nina, and then transitioning back into neutral to El Nino type conditions February April timeframe of 25. I like looking at these maps. They're interesting to go look at. And, long range forecasts, you got to take it all with a grain of salt, but general scheme of what's potential to come, maybe a little drier in the south, equal chances across the Midwest, maybe mild, a little warmer in the south too here, October, November, December timeframe. Here's Dec, Jan, Feb timeframe, similar tone, maybe a little cooler up north in Montana, Dakotas, a little wetter maybe. So will we get a big wintertime snow and some real winter up north? We hope so. Then here's a fun one that I wanted to throw in there. Is it
Oh,
too
here we
early to
go.
talk 25 planting conditions, Connor? Can we talk 25 planting conditions?
We can talk all you want, sure.
Okay. On the
What's
left
it
here,
telling us?
this is April, May, June, and it's calling the extended forecast here is calling for a little wetter than normal in the eastern corn belt and equal
Uh-oh.
chances in the western corn belt. So yeah, maybe we'll have trouble getting the crop in April, May, June timeframe. I don't know if we're surely talk planting delays, but that June, July, August snapshot, you could throw in, drought in the northern plains, Dakotas, that area. We got some drier than normal looking projection way out there, June, July, August. I didn't even know they've made these graphics that far out, Connor.
It's fun to look at. And so, yeah, we talk planning window being a little wet, but then I look at that, right? If we're gonna use the extended range forecast, it's telling us. I saw a lot of I states having pretty favorable precipitation going into next year, but heck, we don't know what the weather's going to do next week. So, but it's always fun to look at.
Yep. No. So the other thing I got here, cattle on feeds Friday.
Yep.
Throw up some report estimates on feed number. September looking to be 0.7% higher versus last year. Placements looking to be a little lighter. Marketing's looking to be a little lighter as well. We'll do a cattle special after that report comes out on premium and get that out to customers and ATI premium subscribers. But when you look at that marketing's number, looking to be down a little bit versus last year, but we're bringing, these carcass weights, Connor, on cattle are 4% bigger than they were. So we're bringing more meat to town, making more beef on less animals, and beef production's actually, looking to be up this month versus 2023. But we'll break those numbers down Friday. That report comes out at 2. If you need to talk about risk management going into that report, give us a call, shoot us a text. We'll tell you what you can do and what you can be looking at.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. We'll see what that brings. Other thing I have is I think we need to talk a little bit Chinese corn imports and also U.S. Brazil corn exports. Interesting article that we saw with China. 2 years ago we talked Brazilian corn shipped to China. 3 years ago that wasn't a factor at all, right? It's really a new thing, and it is amazing. Let me pull this chart up for you.
Okay,
if I can find it. That's not it. I might have forgot to load it up. No worries. What it was showing us was just how much Brazil exports to China ramped up in the past year. In 2021, here's some color for you. 31% of U.S. corn exports went to China.
Okay.
That fell to 18% in 22-23, 6% in 23-24. Brady, the last export sale announcement. I'm going to make you guess this number. When was the last export sale to China that was not a cancellation?
You stumped the chump here. I have no idea, Connor.
I wouldn't have got it, so no worries. April 14th, 2023 was the last time we saw an export sale that wasn't canceled that went to China.
So those morning 8 a.m. flashes that we see, that's what you're talking about, right? Okay.
Correct.
Wow.
So it's, when we talk corn exports, we're talking Mexico, gold, silver, bronze goes to Mexico these past couple of years. And then from there, I think we look at a little bit Japan, but China it has not came to the table. I don't think they've had to. They've relied on Brazil. The Brazilian corn crop, right, last year was a record. It's down a little bit. We can hope that China then, let's factor in also the dryness in South America. We could hope we have a window where maybe they need to buy U.S. corn, right? We really need that. I don't know if it necessarily needs to come to fruition, though. So interesting to see, right, when we look in the rearview mirror, how much corn exports to China, how much that tap has just run out.
Seems like they come to us when they need us, right? When they have to come to us. So, I think about Ukraine and the dryness maybe we've seen there on their corn crop. A huge chunk of their exports goes to China. Is their crop smaller than normal, and will that create a need for them to China to come to the U.S.? But yeah, we'll see. Time will tell what happens there and where they go. But it'd be great to see them back in the business and buying U.S. grain again.
Absolutely. We hope, I hope it's not a paradigm shift right now. I mean, with election, trade tensions in there. Do they really want to buy a whole lot of U.S. commodities? Time will tell, right? We probably had this conversation in June of 2020, June, July of 2020, and then look what exports, how fast they ramped up. So you never know when you have China as a trading partner, right? There's a lot of question marks.
Yep. Watch what they do, not what they say. Absolutely. Tony with a comment there. Good comment. A reminder that no LRP for cattle on Friday with the new rules with no LRP on cattle on feed report days. So if you're interested in LRP, you got to do that Thursday, which is today, I think. Yeah, today. You got to do it today before tomorrow's report.
Can I add why is there no LRP on Friday? Is that every Friday or?
I think it's, there's a lot of, if you're offering a product after a report comes out and then there's, the report comes out at 2:00, the markets are closed and you're offering a product for producers to go manage their risk. And then the person who's offering that product, the insurance company, but it's backed by the government as well, has to go in and manage that position that following Monday. A lot of risk there for the provider offering the product going out because they have no way to offset that risk other than just taking it on themselves. But change they made, I don't know. I like managing risk going into the report versus a reactionary. It just kind of seemed like it wasn't a fair shake for. It was great if you're a producer to be able to see the numbers and then decide if you want to cover your butt or not, if they were bullish or bearish or how. But interesting change.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, pay attention. Cattle on feed tomorrow. Any other comments? We got any other questions or anything? Joe, pop them up. I don't think we do.
Yeah, we had Kurt on Premium yesterday.
Right.
On Premium, they did a round 2, part 2 of what was it? Fall marketing for the farmer. Fall marketing. He did the the commercial side of things here on Monday, and then came out with that Premium here yesterday. Good one. Kurt's a mentor of mine, and I think he's the chair of ATI board or something. He's, I don't know, one of the higher ups in the company, one of our bosses, I guess, but probably should know that.
Yeah. Good stuff. I love, I like to say, us in the farmer marketing space, and then you have commercial brokers, right? On paper, we have the same job, but in reality, right, we're using futures options in completely different ways. They're looking at different things than maybe a farmer needs to pay close attention to. So it's always good hearing their opinion, how they're looking at spread specifically is what I like to hear, and just how they're, they've got their thumb really on managing space, where's grain got to flow to, and just looking at that. So always good stuff from those guys.
Yep. And it's nice to stay balanced. I always, tell farmers, you should probably talk to an end user. You should have somebody who's a buyer of grain, talk to them to see what their opinion of the market is, and vice versa. If you're a end user and you're buying grain, you should talk to somebody who's maybe selling you grain. It's nice to have that balanced approach of looking at it from different angles.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you mentioned Premium. We got some good stuff coming up. I don't know for anyone watching. Let's run a quick ad, and you can just see what we're doing with ATI Pro Media Premium.
Yep.
Welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today.
Good stuff.
Truth is, I just wanted to hear Tommy's voice.
I missed his voice. Yeah. But if you want to catch it, tune into RFD Cow Guy Close. He's going to be doing that next. Is he doing that the rest of the week here, Connor?
I think so. Thursday, Friday.
Cool.
But yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. Well, with that, grain still pretty much where you quoted at. Wheat a little lower. Corn breaking a little bit down. I got D's corn down 5. So we'll watch that one. Soybeans are hanging in there. So we'll see where it goes. Any questions, comments, reach out anytime. I think any closing comments, Brady?
Nope. We'll be back here tomorrow. Tune in and ask us a question. Send us a comment. See you tomorrow.
Good stuff. See ya.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.